Good evening, everybody. Today's Thursday, January 28th, 2021. And today, because how Spectrum Financial Alliance makes investment decisions affects your portfolio and your financial future, we're going to discuss our firm's core beliefs, who we are, and how those beliefs shape and influence the investment success of our clients. Our firm wants to stand clearly from this point on our core beliefs during our current cancel culture, and we want our core values communicated instead of masking what we stand for or who we are. So today, we're going to put, for the first time in 25 years, our firm's identity right out front. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. A lot of folks only know me as the founder of Spectrum Financial Alliance, which I founded 25 years ago. Because of that, they may see me as a successful entrepreneur or founder and an affluent American, but they don't see how it started, because it started with the American dream. My family was relatively poor. Between 5th grade and high school graduation, we were evicted from our home on 5 occasions. Utility cutoffs, no telephone, the whole bit. No money for college was going to be in my future. But because we live in the greatest country in America, because of the background I got from my teachers and coaches at Bryan Station Junior High and High School, I was able to accomplish everything I've accomplished since then. In sports, I felt I had to excel. I felt I had to excel in academia and in leadership activities. And because of the guidance, again, of great adults at Bryan Station, I did excel, qualifying for multiple Division I-A athletic scholarships in football and track, academic scholarships, including at the Ivy League, and an appointment to Annapolis and the United States Air Force Academy. I then went through the Air Force Academy, became a pilot, became a fighter pilot, the pinnacle of a pilot's career in the Air Force. But all that success was driven by the people I got to grow up around at Bryan Station, the most heavily integrated school in our city at that time, and I believe at this time. None of us had racial animus or carried that animus through the 80s or 90s. And yet, we're being told in the press now that if you're white and if you're conservative, that by definition, pitifully defined, you're systematically racist. That's the last thing that anyone who knew me would say. Folks, you need to know that our firm got fired by 2 good clients last year. Of course, it was a presidential election year, but we were fired not because of performance or client service. We were fired because each of those client families did not agree with our worldview. In one of those cases, they didn't agree with clear factual statements I've made about Dr. Anthony Fauci. We want to make it 100% clear that our firm's expressed opinions are not about politics. It's not about Republican versus Democrat or socialist. Rather, we speak out about the most probable investment and economic outcomes of those applied political policies, regardless of which party is proposing them. If we think it's going to harm your financial future, we're going to talk about it. The reason we discuss public policy is because they definitely heavily impact your investments and your future financial planning. You know, Spectrum's a concentrated and predictive asset management firm. And that means we look at the economy, the markets, and politics has to be ingrained in that. It controls a large part of the economy to position your accounts in a way that provides you with an opportunity to achieve good returns. Because of this approach, our average client account returns have tended to be roughly twice the average asset allocation investors' returns according to Dalbar Inc. studies, which we buy annually. You see a comparison year by year from January 1st of 2009 to year to date of Spectrum Financial Alliance's returns, shown in the bar graph in blue, and the returns of the average asset allocation fund investor in each of those years. You'll note that our returns are slightly more volatile, upside and downside generally. Not all years, but generally. But you'll also note the huge difference in the growth of $250,000 over this decade-plus period of time. This slide talks about the cumulative comparison, again, between the two methods of investing. Notice again, Spectrum will not claim that we're not going to decline. We will. What we're going to claim is that over time, our method works. This slide dramatically shows it. On a $250,000 investment at the first of 2009, would the extra $400,525 you would gain be worth the extra volatility? We believe it is. We're discussing these topics because we want you to know how we make the investment decisions that affect your financial future. I'm hoping that'll build even more comfort in how you evaluate your financial tomorrows. In life, we all have many choices. One of those choices is who we decide to hire to do things for us that we're either unable to do for ourselves or we don't want to do, or we simply don't have the education, the background, or the time to successfully do. Many people would prefer to work with someone perhaps who shares the same worldview. However, if I may, I can't require a professional to share my worldview that I'm working with, especially when we talk about real highly skilled, specialized areas like medicine, investment management, legal. I'm going to significantly lower the pool of truly qualified, results-proven candidates that are available if I try to imply that their worldview should be similar. For example, I wouldn't pick a surgeon based on his or her religious beliefs, their political views, or their lifestyle. And folks, unfortunately, I've had to pick a lot of surgeons. I would investigate them, choose a surgeon based on his or her qualifications and their experience, their educational background, and demonstrated surgical results. That's worked out great for me. We want to make it clear that we don't differentiate between Republicans, Democrats, or independents. We do differentiate between ourselves as conservative Americans, and we're proud to have so many clients, friends, and loved ones with liberal and conservative views. Many of our clients do not hold the same beliefs or values we have, and we definitely value their beliefs. I spent a lot of years in uniform defending their right to believe the way they choose. We will never attempt to cancel or stifle anyone's beliefs, thoughts, or expression. But here's an important point. We'll also never allow anyone to stifle ours. Our beliefs, our thoughts, our education, our experience have positively impacted our clients' returns, and they've aided us in producing what's truly an enviable third-party assessed investment track record that consistently strives for true investment excellence. Here's some more of who we are. We're a patriotic and faith-based firm. We're a group that loves freedom, individual freedom. I was so blessed to spend 25 years in uniform defending our Constitution and this nation. We believe in peace through strength. We believe our very lives are not nearly as precious as preserving our God-given freedoms, the freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution. We will never surrender our inherent God-given, not state-given rights for the state or the federal government's false safety or protection. To quote Benjamin Franklin, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. We're a conservative-minded firm because conservative principles of hard work, faith in God, and treating others fairly work all over the world. I've seen it. I've seen it in the sands of the Middle East. And liberal policies have always, without exception, consistently failed in every part of the globe, including the extremely consistent international and domestic policy failings of the Obama administration, which are now being recycled and will have the same result. It's highly probable we're going to get similar economic stagnation results under President Biden's policies. I expect many of these policies to be short-circuited by the federal courts and by a very uncompliant Congress. It's not going to go exactly the way I think some folks perceive. Liberal policies, folks, seek to consolidate power in government. You see, power is a zero-sum game. There's only so much power out there. The more you consolidate government control and power, it has to come from the people. Liberal policies emphasize collective rights over individual rights. They're enshrined in our Constitution. The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence are about individual rights. They have nothing to do with government rights. Liberal collectivism leads to overregulation of our economy and our businesses. And I think all of us have had some exposure to that. And that results in lower GDP, lower income growth, reduces American citizens' jobs and economic opportunities, and also reduces personal initiative and self-reliance, possibly permanently. In our firm, we will always salute our flag. We will stand for our national anthem, choosing an appropriate time to protest, because that's not it. And we will kneel only to our divine Creator. We believe American greatness is derived from our Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and from individual effort, not the state's group collective or political doctrine. Our country and our Constitution were designed solely to protect individual rights, not state or group rights. This fact, and it is a fact, read the Constitution, read the Federalist Papers, is one of our nation's distinguishing characteristics among all nations on earth. It's the source of our country's strength and power, and it's largely responsible for why the American experiment has been so overwhelmingly successful. The fact that people are in the desert right now dying to get into our southern border and are illegally entering, committing a felony, our country, reflects the draw of America. It reflects the power of the American dream. It also reflects the success of the American experiment. We're a firm that truly believes in American exceptionalism, which has sure been getting beat up lately. Nothing that occurred to make the United States of America the fairest, strongest, wealthiest, most tolerant, most open, and most charitable nation of all time happened by accident. It happened directly by the wisdom of our founders and under the mandate of a divinely inspired Constitution they wrote. America's exceptionalism extends to welcoming anyone legally, regardless of race, regardless of creed, regardless of religion. And our country is not systematically racist. Claims of systematic racism have led to a huge fundraising bonanza for groups like Antifa and BLM, terrorist groups. Follow the money, and you'll understand those groups a little better. The allegation that America is systematically racist is an outright lie. If it was systematically racist, then why are the most heavily blighted cities in our nation currently predominantly led by black mayors and black chiefs of police, and have been for decades? Why are those city leaders systematically racist too? I don't think so. Blue states, blue cities have continued to lose ground and fail by following failed government policies for decades and allowing those flawed government policies to continue the destruction of their own communities with a lack of progress in education, public safety, and health care. Our nation was not founded as a democracy, folks. We're a democratic republic. If you understand the difference, we believe in our nation's business system, capitalism, which has truly made us the growth engine for the rest of the world. We don't believe in socialism because it's never worked. It's constantly being pushed by American liberals, consolidates power in government. Socialism and communism have literally destroyed the economies of every single country that has ever been governed under them. Every experiment in socialism and communism has not only failed its people, but directly led, for example, to the murders of hundreds of millions, documented hundreds of millions in China and Russia alone. World history is impeccably clear on this point. Our children need to study that world history, and our teachers need to teach it before accepting the deception that's currently taught in our finest colleges and in public secondary schools. We believe in helping others by teaching and giving others a hand up, not a handout. Ongoing government handouts in education and housing, which we're told is a right now, in food, etc., become an insidious habit. It builds an expectation philosophy in the person receiving it, and it destroys their individual initiative and their long-term independence. We believe people should put in the hard work to get what they earn, and that everyone should have the opportunity to earn a good living, but not rely long-term, unless disabled, unless there's a reason, the government to provide all of their support. As a firm, we do not fear the state or its representatives, regardless of who they are. All power in our great nation is truly derived from the consent of the people, not requiring the consent of politicians. We believe America is a generous country and is composed of the most tolerant people ever assembled on earth. In the 25 years I had the privilege of working in a meritocracy through service as an Air Force officer, I worked with people of all races without seeing the color. Americans, especially conservatives, are now being falsely cast by liberal Democrats and progressives as evil, as racist, simply to undermine and redefine our true nation's history, to undermine and redefine folks who are conservative, might look at an issue different. Why? I think it's because some of those folks want to burn our current freedom-loving system down. We need to realize that. We need to realize this movement is fueled by people who want to destroy the American way of life. And I'm talking about foreign nations like China, Russia, Iran, Syria, and even a few of our somewhat jealous European friends. Folks, I hope discussing our firm's core values and what Spectrum Financial Alliance stands for, our flag, our nation's exceptional history, and America's contribution to world history and conservative values help you better understand how our views frame your portfolio management. We are a firm that will not be silenced or base our financial projections and investment philosophy on what view is popular or politically correct. We believe that good public policy should always rule over any political party. We will also stand on constitutional grounds, tolerate the views of others while still expressing our own, insist on election accountability and in-person required ID for voting. Now, we're aware that not everyone shares the exact same worldview. Please understand that everything we say and everything we believe is based 100% on policies that work to help all Americans and preserve our nation, not politics or politicians. We are students of world and economic history, not political history, and we will always use that as our guidepost. We truly want the best for all of our clients. As a registered investment advisor, we are a fiduciary, and we are legally required to always put your best interests first. Results matter, folks, investment results. And policies that affect your investments matter too. But political party and politics do not play a role when it comes to SFA's asset management. To our firm, more than anything we do, your investment results are the bottom line. If you have any questions at all, please message us directly or call us at 859-223-6333 or email us at sfa@spectrumalliance.com and we will contact you directly. Thank you for your time. God bless you and your family, and God bless the United States of America.